Tyler Henry built his entire life on one bold claim: that he could speak to the dead. For years, people watched in or as he delivered messages no one else could explain. Celebrities trusted him. Millions believed him. But now, something far more real is threatening everything he built. A rare condition buried deep inside his brain. And what he says about it might be the strangest part of all. Could the thing putting his life at risk actually be the source of his so-called gift? His rise felt almost unreal. One moment, he was just a teenager. The next, he was sitting across from the Kardashian family on national television. That appearance in 2015 changed everything. People couldn't look away. A young man, calm and soft-spoken, claiming he could connect with the other side. Within months, he had his own show. Hollywood Medium premiered in 2016, just days after his 20th birthday. And it didn't just do well. It became a massive hit. But was it talent? Or something else? Soon, his world grew even bigger. Netflix came calling. Life After Death dropped in 2022, pulling in a whole new audience. Then came more shows, more tours, more private readings. His client list read like a who's who of Hollywood. The Kardashians, Boy George, Eva Longoria, Jim Parsons, Sofia Vergara, Rebel Wilson, Lizzo, Howie Mandel, Nancy Grace, Matt Lauer, Megan Fox, Chrissy Metz, Bobby Brown, Corey Feldman. Powerful names, wealthy names, all sitting across from him, listening. But here's the question no one could ignore. Why did so many believe? Not everyone did. Critics came hard and fast. Neurologist Steven Novella didn't hold back. He called psychics like Tyler grief vampires. People who prey on the vulnerable. Others, like skeptic Susan Jerbick, broke down his readings piece by piece, calling them nothing more than clever tricks. Even comedian John Oliver spoke out against TV psychics. And yet, Tyler kept rising. So were the critics wrong? Or was something else going on? Then came a moment that stunned everyone. Months before Alan Thicke died, Tyler warned him about heart problems. When Thicke later passed from an aortic dissection, it looked like proof. A prediction come true. But skeptics pushed back. Heart disease is common. The warning was vague. And Tyler himself didn't seem alarmed at the time. So was it real foresight? Or just coincidence dressed up as something more? Through all the controversy, Tyler stayed calm, confident, untouched. But in 2014, everything changed. He was just 18 when a simple headache sent him to the hospital. He expected medication, maybe rest. Instead, doctors found something terrifying. A congenital brain cyst. An arachnoid cyst that had been there his entire life. Silent. Hidden. Until suddenly, it wasn't. But what happened next was even worse. The cyst had already caused a stroke. He didn't even know it. One day he was jogging, working in his garden, feeling perfectly fine. The next, he was being rushed into emergency brain surgery. No warning. No build-up. Just a sudden fight for his life. Imagine that. Walking around with a ticking time bomb in your head, and having no idea. But would this be the end of his story? Or just the beginning? The surgery saved him. But the experience changed him. The pain, the fear, the uncertainty. He described the first night after surgery as unbearable. The worst headache of his life. Machines beeping. Nurses watching. And one haunting question. What exactly had been inside his brain? Was it harmless? Or something far worse? For years, he carried on. Working. Performing. Reading. But that cyst was never truly forgotten. And then, in 2025, everything came crashing back. It was supposed to be the happiest time of his life. He had just married his longtime partner, Clint Godwin. A quiet ceremony. A moment of peace. But only days later, he was back in surgery. And this time, the diagnosis was even rarer. a colloid cyst, deep in the third ventricle of his brain. 1 in 3 million people get it. And Tyler was one of them. It wasn't cancer. But it didn't need to be. This kind of cyst blocks fluid in the brain. Pressure builds. Symptoms worsen. Headaches. Vision problems. Seizures. Even death. The danger was real. Immediate. But here's where things take a strange turn. What happened after the surgery changed everything. Doctors removed most of the tumor. Not all. Just most. And during recovery, Tyler began experiencing something terrifying. His thoughts slowed down. Words slipped away. He struggled to speak clearly. A condition called aphasia. For someone whose entire life depends on communication, this was devastating. But was this the end of his abilities? Or something else entirely? At first, he feared the worst. That whatever connection he believed he had was fading. But then something unexpected happened. As the swelling in his brain went down, he said his abilities felt clearer, sharper, more focused. The very condition that nearly killed him may have been clouding his mind all along. So what does that mean? Was the cyst helping him, or holding him back? The relief didn't last. Symptoms returned. Headaches. Confusion. That same frightening fog. By November 2025, he was back in surgery again. His third brain operation. 2 of them within 6 months. Let that sink in. 3 surgeries. 1 brain. How much can a person endure before something breaks? Through it all, Tyler kept going. He cancelled shows. Stepped back when he had to. But he didn't disappear. And yet, behind the scenes, one question kept growing louder. Where do his abilities really come from? Is it intuition? Practice? Something psychological? Or something else entirely? Even Tyler doesn't claim to have the answer. In fact, he's admitted something surprising. He can't read himself. Or his own family. The connection goes silent. And that led to one of the biggest shocks of his life. His mother believed she knew who her biological mother was. 4 decades. Until a DNA test revealed the truth. It was wrong. Completely wrong. And Tyler never saw it coming. How could someone who claims to see everything miss something so close? That moment changed everything. It exposed a limit. A boundary he couldn't cross. And maybe that's what makes his story so human. Because behind the fame, the readings, the mystery, is someone who has faced loss, illness, and uncertainty over and over again. He lost his first love to brain cancer. He survived a collapsed lung. He was born premature. His body has fought battles most people never experience. And still, he stands in front of others, offering answers he himself doesn't always have. So what does that say about him? Maybe the real story isn't about psychic abilities at all. Maybe it's about survival. About belief. About the need to find meaning in chaos. Because in the end, Tyler Henry might claim to speak with the dead, but it's the struggles of the living that define him the most.